Oh, hello everyone and welcome. Welcome to this new moon and Imbolc ceremony for January 2024. We're into a whole new year and I'm smudging and letting the smoke surround us with sage and sweetgrass and I think I have some myrrh down in there and some other things to open the space and clear the air. And welcome to everyone who's coming in. If you Let me just say that if you want to gather things for ceremony, of course you can gather smudging materials, but also if you have a mirror that you can, just a hand mirror that you can have nearby, we're going to do a little ceremony with the mirror. You might want a journal or some paper. I suggested a party hat. I have on, as you can see, a headpiece of spring flowers, hopeful of the spring flowers to come. And I suggest that you have something white, anything, a flower or a white crystal, a white candle, white cloth, but just white because it represents the light. And if I have a white candle burning here that I will continue to let go. And I also have some yellow flowers that I brought. I got these at the store, obviously. So we would have those. And in a few minutes, we'll light our red candle for Bridget. And a container of water. Mine is sacred water from Ishnock in Ireland. It's from Bridget's well. And so just bring all those things together. And I will call the directions in just a couple of minutes. But what I want to say about the directions before we begin, the center of the directions is represented by the white candles or the white object, whatever you may have with you that's white, and the red candle for Bridget. And in the east, which is the element of air associated with the east, remember the smell of spring flowers and the color, and the color of yellow representing Imbolc. And in the south, the element of fire, we burn our sage and sweetgrass and frankincense and any other kinds of herbs that you have burning to cleanse and clear the air. In the west, we have the element of water. And so mine, as I said, is from St. Bridget's Well in Ireland, in Ishnock, Ireland. And so if you have water with you, if you want to pick up the container of water or just put your hand over it or however you want to do it, just take your water in your hands and ask for blessings to fill your container of water. And then ask that those blessings travel from your container of water into all of the mother waters of earth. And then you can bring your container to your heart or just touch your container and then touch your heart with your hand and say thank you. And in the north, the element is earth. And so I have the flowers to represent the earth, the dirt that the flowers grow in. And so that's the representation of the earth. And so let that experience of the fire, earth, air, and water flow through you, connect with the divine feminine, the divine masculine throughout the earth. Let that flow, feel that flow in your very veins of your body. Let the waters of the earth and the water in your body flow into your bones and your joints and your muscles. And then just swallow, because the very saliva that you create in your mouth is from the water in your body. So let that flow through your body. And we come today to honor the moon. The moon holds memory of the millions of our ancestors who came before us. And those ancient ancestors honored the moon as we're honoring it today. So we ask that the ancestors and the divine beings that follow the moon and are associated with the moon come and be with us this day. So we will call the directions. I call with the rattle of Hathor, cleansing and clearing the air around us. And I start in the center with the divine light in the center, and I call these directions in honor of my Cherokee heritage and my Celtic heritage and my Egyptian spiritual heritage, as we open the directions and we say thank you to the divine light that comes in and flows through us. And I turn to the east. And I say thank you to the ancestors of the East, to Ra and to Mut, the sun god and sun goddess of the Egyptian line, and to Lu and Anya of the Celtic line. We call to you to illuminate our path as we go through ceremony this day, to show us the light, to show us the way, and to remind us of gratitude. And we say thank you. And we make a quarter turn to the right, to the south, the direction of love and laughter and joy, the direction of vibration and rhythm and music. And so the Egyptian Hathor and Bast rise up to call us to the dance of life, as we dance through the fire of the south, to release all those things that we need to let go to move forward on our path. And in the south is Bridget, the goddess of poetry, of creativity, of dance and laughter and music. And she calls us to open to the creativity that flows through our veins from our ancestors. And we say thank you. And we make a quarter turn to the right and turn to the west, the direction of the setting sun, the direction where the ancestors pass as they leave this earth and move on to the other world. And there rises up the Morrigan of the Celtic line and Sekhmet of the Egyptian line. And beside us is the black bear. We take her hand as she leads us into the cave of introspection in the west. And the Morrigan and Sekhmet guard the entrance so that we may sit in safety and let the information and the knowledge of the ancestors pour into us through our meditation, through our quietness, through our sitting in the dark. And we say thank you. And we make a quarter turn to the right, to the north. In the north, Ma'at rises up with her scales of justice. She represents truth and justice and balance. And with her is Danu of the Celtic line. They rise up with White Buffalo Woman to call us to stand up as warriors of the heart, to open our hearts, to open our minds, to stand in the north and transmute the knowledge of the west into wisdom consciousness in the north winds. And we thank you. And we come back to center, reaching up to the heavens, and say thank you to the sun and the moon and the stars, the planets, our Milky Way that is reflected in our rivers on Mother Earth. The Nile, the rivers of Ireland, all are said to mirror the Milky Way as they flow along their paths. The Boyne River is named after, or Boann, the goddess, is named after the Boyne River in Ireland. And that river reminds us of the Milky Way. And I reach down to the earth. I reach down to Mother Earth and the Mother Waters as they surround and enfold us and hold us on our journey today, on our path. And we say thank you. And I end the calling of the directions with words from many traditions. Aho, Ashi, Amen. Blessed be, Hamdulillah, and so it is. So welcome. Welcome this day. I have brought for you today the Tree of Life. And I couldn't let it be the bare branches because this is the ceremony of Imbolc. So I've attached some silk flowers to these bare branches so we can see the coming of the spring. And of course the moon is here with us so that we can honor the moon and honor Imbolc as we come into this ceremony today. Yes. So Imbolc is one of the 4 Celtic cross-quarter days. They're called the cross-quarter Celtic holy days. This one, Imbolc, comes halfway or approximately halfway between winter solstice and spring equinox. And so this particular day celebrates Earth's awakening from the depths of winter, stepping into the yet fragile incoming light of spring. Some parts of the world, of course, are far warmer, closer to the equator, and other parts are still very cold, deep in the snow. But underneath all that, those seeds are there. Seeds are beginning to make their movements so that they can rise up as the spring comes in. And so in addition to the ceremony of Imbolc, because today is the full moon opening the gateway of emergence so that we can step forward and step out, but also that comes on February 1st, but February 1st and 2nd have quite a few days in there to celebrate. This day is sometimes called Saint Bridget's Day, which came after Christianity came into being, and that same Saint Bridget is the Bridget of pre-Celtic days, the same goddess who came through and was anointed as a saint through the Christian line. And so this day is also, February 1st is also recognized as St. Bridget's Day. It's another name is Candlemas. And February 2nd, in the United States at least, is Groundhog Day, the day the groundhog is supposedly comes out of its deep, dark tunnel underground, looking around to see if the sun is out, and if the sun's out, that groundhog's going to run back in and hide away for another 6 weeks. So all the February holy days and ceremony days have in common, they share an honoring of the spark of life that leads to rebirth. And all of them remind us that the dormant seeds and roots underground are ready to rise through that cold, dark soil and begin their dance with the light. So while in the still cold darkness of winter, we light the red candle for Bridget. And so I bring mine forth now and light that Bridget candle. And if you have a red candle, please light that as well. So Bridget, we ask Bridget to help us rise to the challenge of growth and open our hearts to welcome the light. And we light these candles today with the gentle flames that will become the roaring fires of Beltane in May. So we await the coming of spring, and at the same time, today we honor and celebrate the full moon in Leo. The interesting part of where the full moon is today, the moon is directly facing Pluto. Now, Leo represents the blossoming of our creative potential. Pluto represents transformation and endings, and which always includes new beginnings. And they're a part of life, a part of any creative process. So the energy of this particular full moon brings our attention to the interplay between creation and destruction. And that interplay might just offer us opportunities to reflect on what needs to die or end in our lives to free up our creative energy so that we can move forward as to fully express our purpose, our soul's purpose as we came here to Earth. So Leo, where the moon is situated in the zodiac, Leo's cauldron of inspiration and creativity is full of action. And so these 3 days that we're in, about 3 days that the moon is in Leo, is a really good time to do some physical activity. You know, workout, exercise, walk, whatever you can do in a physical aspect. And in the full moon in Leo, your childlike self comes out. So it's time to let that inner child play today and let that creativity flow. You know, if you're an artist, by all means, go into that today. But if you're not, if you don't consider yourself an artist, do crafts, do coloring, do whatever you can do to express yourself creatively, because this is a prime time for that creative juice to flow in and out. So let this illuminated moon lift your spirits and celebrate yourself. Feel the love all around you and invoke love into your life, and intentionally and purposefully transmit that love out to others around you. So let me stop for just a minute here, and I ask you if you would go to the chat and just type where you are in the world, and I'll look back at it later and see where we are. And I very much would like to, you know, be able to at least see who came today when I look back at this. So I know several of you are from the Asheville area where I am in North Carolina, but some of you are from Canada and other places. Leanne is with us from Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah. Let me go to the gallery view here for just a minute and see who's around. All right, lovely. Yeah, I see lots of familiar faces and some that I don't offhand recognize, but welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. So it is a beautiful day, and even though if I look outside, it's not yet spring, but we have spring rains falling for days now, and days yet to come. So we don't have any sun, and I'm not able to see this beautiful full moon because we are completely clouded over. But on the other side of those clouds, there's that beautiful moon and the beautiful sun. So no matter what our weather is, it's a beautiful day for us to be alive and to be creative and to step out of who we think we are and let the true essence of us come. So I hope that you have brought a mirror with you, and if you didn't, you can just imagine this. Imagine that you have a mirror. So let me. So the full moon in Leo brings up some very intense feelings and emotions. But that also marks a time of creative and emotional maturity. Okay, we usually think emotions like, oh, I don't want to get out of control. No, we're talking about some serious, intense emotions and feelings, but the maturation of those feelings, letting them help us with our growth rather than disrupt our life as we go along and run into these high emotions. So the vibration of the moon in Leo can help us to observe our unconscious and subtle ways that we try to meet our needs for attention, recognition, validation. I mean, that's what Leo does. Leo wants to be right. And during this moon phase, your pride and your ego might be pretty strong. So, pay attention to the interactions that you have with people, because you may get into a little conflict in that need to be right that Leo is pushing. So pay attention, not just for these 3 days of Leo, but pay attention to what you're saying and what you're doing, and evaluate yourself periodically. Ask yourself, do you want or need to impress others? Or do you want to be yourself, no matter who you're with? So which do you lean most into? And what is best for your growth and development? So right now, let Leo's energy of creative and emotional maturation work with you. This is a time to give yourself permission to define your best parts. What do you love about your body, your strength, your flexibility? Do you love your hair? Do you not like any of that? This is a time to look at your best parts. What is it that you like about yourself? So for just a few moments, we're going to stand in the light of the moon, because we're going to let our mirror represent the full moon. So I'm not sure what you can see. I think it looks pretty much like a white screen, but this is my mirror. And so I'm going to put this mirror out in front of me. Let me move my screen stuff around just a little bit. And if you get your mirror, you can hold it, or if it's a mirror that stands like mine does, you might be able to stand it in front of you. But I'd like you to look into your mirror, a real mirror. If you don't have one with you, just imagine that you have a mirror. And gaze at your face. And as you gaze at your face, what do you see? And what do you want to see? So looking at that mirror, and see your face and know that this is you. This is you, this life, this time. And no matter whether you like what you see or you don't like what you see, smile at yourself. Smile, and make that smile a little larger. Because you are a beautiful being, and you deserve all the smiles that you can get. So give yourself a smile. And now, remind yourself as you look in that mirror that you are part of the divine essence. So look deeply into your eyes. Look a little deeper. And take a deep breath and let it out slowly. And now gently close your eyes and put down the mirror. And as you sit, remembering yourself in the mirror, also sit with your other self, your higher self. And as you sit with your higher self, let these tones of my human voice lead you into the message from the unseen world, from your higher self. Your higher self comes and says, I am the illumination of the full moon as she turns through her cycles. I am the fire of the radiant sun sent forth in the morning to illuminate each part of you. I am your guide in your beautiful life and your guide in troubled times. You are not alone. Trust me, and the flames of creation surround you. Open to me, and we will dance, releasing old pains and opening a new dance. Open to me and see what you truly love. You are a beautiful creation of the divine. In your day-to-day life, are you doing what you love? Are you being the beautiful creation that you are? Look into yourself. See your beauty. Even though you don't believe it, your soul knows you. So take a slow, easy breath and let it out slowly. And now reach for the mirror again, opening your eyes, looking back in the mirror once again, and remember the message that you heard from the other world. It may be the message that came through the tones of my voice. It may be messages that came to you flowing through your consciousness. And so I'm going to tone and sing just for a couple of minutes to give you time to record in your journal or on paper, or even just sit and think about it in your mind. Think about those messages coming through from your higher self, the message of beauty, the message of you as the beloved, the message of you as a divine being. So just take a few moments to think about those thoughts and record them if you like, as I sing a few tones for you. The light of the moon shines down on you. The light of the moon shines down on you, illuminating your path to walk with the Goddess divine. The moon and Leo invite you to open to your fiery heart, to live your passion for life. The light of the moon shines down on you. The light of the moon shines down on you. And now, take in a deep breath and release that breath, and as you release, let go of the parts of your past self that are blocking your growth. Take another breath in and let go of anything that is painful. Take another breath and let go of all those things, any of those things that stand to stop you from reaching your full potential. And now, take in a new breath, taking in all that you want to be, and release that with a thank you. And take another breath in, breathing in what you want to be, and release that with a thank you. And a third time, taking in that fresh new breath to open you to the divine light, and release that with a thank you. So what would it look like if you step into a place of acceptance? A place of acceptance of your body just like it is. A place of acceptance with your emotional ups and downs just like they are. What would it be like to step into acceptance of all that you are? Are there thoughts you'd have to give up to let this happen? Are there new thoughts that you would need to embrace to let this happen? Let this energy of Leo, this excited, playful, warm, opening energy, encourage you to let that happen. Encourage you to accept yourself as you are, but open the door to growth, to be ready to spring forth like the roots and the seeds underground working their way up through that dark soil. The womb of life is ready to give birth. The maiden of spring is ready to emerge. And Bridget has ignited our cauldron's fire. She's stirring inspiration and creativity, stirring that cauldron of life, stirring it, stirring it, stirring it. Are you ready to stir your cauldron? That's the moon's call today. So take another good breath and let it out. And I thank each of you for coming today. I hope you found just a little nugget that will help you express yourself more deeply. Our next moon ceremony will be February the 9th, and the new moon will be in Aquarius. And that will be the closing of the Imbolc season as we get ready to open to the eclipse season. And we have quite an eclipse season coming. In late February is sort of the opening of eclipse season of the springtime. March the 25th, there will be a full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. And that energy continues until the next eclipse, which is a new moon and total solar eclipse in Aries on April the 8th or 9th. And it will be seen in most of North America, at least maybe not the full eclipse seen by everyone, but lots of us will have the opportunity to see another solar eclipse. And that energy will follow us for 2 or 3 months. Then the later in the year, the next eclipse season has 3 eclipses, September, October, and 2 in October. So, there's lots yet to come. And I'll be teaching a new class in late February, so watch for those announcements. And what I'd like to do now is just open the floor. Let me take myself off the move to the gallery view, and I know some people need to go, and that's perfectly fine if you need to. But if you can stay for a few minutes and like to add any words, reflections on what you experienced, or just anything that you'd like to add in, I am happy for you to do that. You can just unmute yourself, and if we get too many of us talking at the same time, I'll call on people. But for now, just unmute yourself and speak up if you'd like to. Okay, camera shy people. Anyone? Any comments?
Well, I'd just like to say that was really beautiful. And I didn't know that about Leo, so that was something new that I learned. And I really appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you, Jan.
Yeah, I'll say too that I really appreciated that mirror work. That was really I got quite emotional doing that, and really taking the time to look at my face, getting to see those wrinkles that I don't really take much time to look at on a daily basis, and just, welcoming them and saying, hey, okay, well, you look new since the last time I've really looked closely. And but yet the longer I looked in the mirror, the more I was able to, and I can feel the emotion of this, the more I was able to still see that young maiden who lives behind those wrinkles, and she's still there in my eyes. So that was a very sweet moment of being my elder self and aware of my maiden self as well.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah. I'm so glad that it was good for you, that it worked for you. Yeah. Anyone else? Any thoughts anybody wants to share?
I'll share, Peggy. What kept coming up for me is resistance. Is why do I resist this? My heart knows it, my soul knows it, and why are we resisting that which we are?
Mm-hmm.
I think that mirror piece too for me, because I was realizing that I think even though the facial features change, what never really changes in a person is their smile. For some reason, even from infancy all the way through, that smile always stays the same. So, yeah, I found that I need to smile more. Thank you.
That's a good point. Yeah, yeah. That smile does stay with us. Uh-huh. That makes me think of a time when I don't remember where I was working, but I was somewhere back in the days when I was working in an office. We had a contest where we brought a picture from early childhood, and you were supposed to guess who people were. And I had, several people came to me and said, I know which one is you because you've still got that same smile, that little, I'm about to get into trouble kind of look. Yep, you're right. We do carry that smile with us. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything else?
Peggy, I wanted to say how peaceful your voice makes me feel.
Well, thank you.
I participated in the Ollie meditation you led. It was the best ever. Your voice is just very soothing and calming in itself. So thank you.
Ah, thank you. Yeah. Anything else anyone would like to say? Well, let me go back to the directions and thank the ancestors for coming. And so I go to the north. And I say, thank you, divine ones, for calling us, to wake up, for calling us to step up into wisdom consciousness. We thank you for coming. We ask you to stay if you can and go if you must. And in the West, we thank you for our guidance into introspection. We thank you for the mirror showing us who we truly are. And we thank you, ancestors of the West, for coming. Guide us, stay with us if you can, go if you must. And to the South, thank you for the love and the laughter and the joy. We know that the joy and the love will stay with us. And if you can continue to guide us, stay if you can, go if you must. Thank you. And in the East, thank you. Thank you for the illumination. Thank you for leading us in this ceremony and through this ceremony, and let us retain the illumination to take with us so that we may light our path each and every day, each and every moment. Thank you, ancestors of the East. Thank you of Mother Earth. Thank you of the heavens. Thank you to all who came this day. Guide us, lead us as you can. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy.